Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Last year people just raved about our lineup, and I'm like, wow, okay, well, let's see if we can knock it out of the park this year again. We did.
I think the entire event breeds money because people that are doing lights aren't broke. You know what I'm saying? Like typically, you don't. It's not. Hello, guys. Good morning. Ron Musgraves, Pressure Washing Institute Contractors First. I'm here with Matt Hayden from Clipicon. Hey, Matt. Folks don't know who you really are, so let's introduce yourself, how you've been on the scene, a little bit of your background, because my audience may not know who you are. I mean, I know everybody in the Christmas light industry knows who you are, and I also know you want to talk about Clipicon in a different kind of format, and we're going to get into that. But go ahead and tell everybody who you are.
Thanks for having me, Ron. I appreciate it. Matt Hayden, president of Clipa. Clipa is Christmas Light Installation Pros Association. I've been in this industry since 2006, just hanging lights and all sorts of stuff, different things throughout the years. But yeah, we established Clipa back in 2017. Basically just as a Facebook group of installers helping installers. What do you do in this situation? How do you guys do this? And the guy in Florida helping the guy in California, and so on and so forth. And it just grew, it developed, and it's grown. We offer trainings. We also, anybody that wants to get into the industry, or if you're in the industry, we offer trainings to you as well, to teach you how to start a Christmas light business. We have some phenomenal trainers, a huge trainer lineup. We've got trainings all across the U.S. We're not tapping into Canada this year. We thought about it, but all across the U.S. So you can check it out, and we have trainings hopefully near you somewhere.
That's awesome. How did let's talk about everybody about how we originally met. Let's talk about that for a second.
Okay.
How many years we've known each other? Because that's important.
Oh boy. I don't know. I remember golf at Top Golf. That had to be like 10, 12 years ago, a long time ago. I don't know, maybe longer.
That's funny because you remember Tanner and Alex.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they called me to go to Top Golf this Sunday. That's funny.
Did you? Nice.
Yeah,
I remember that. I remember going out to Scottsdale.
Out there.
I think it was in Scottsdale, right? Yeah, we went out there.
Yeah, we've known each other a few years, and it's funny because I think that what was the origination year of Clipa? What was you know this, but we've known each other before Clipa, but
correct.
When did you originate Clipa? And do a little background story.
Yeah, 2017 was when we really started, doing it. We've been offering trainings for, I think I've been training for like 12 years plus. But then, Clipa became our training arm, and that was 2017-ish.
And what does Clipa stand for? Because I don't think people know that.
Christmas Light Installation Pros Association.
Okay. And on that subject today, what we're talking about, Guy, is this event that's going on. It's called Clipicon. It's in San Diego, and Matt wanted to focus on that. This wasn't just about Christmas light training, and I want to go ahead and delve into it right here and just scroll through and show some of these guys. And maybe we don't want to highlight anybody yet, but let's go through this, guys. You got Zach Marker, John Majak, David Felt, Ryan Lee, Sam Coffer, Morgan Knox, Ryan McCarty, Matthew Efford. How do you say Matthew's last name?
Matthew Efford.
Okay. David Hamill, Doug Mitchell, Andrew McKinney, Megan Like, Sebastian Rusk, Sean Day, Michael Gregory, Caroline Puller, Brad West. If I butchered some of these names, man, I'm sorry for those guys.
That's all right.
You guys got Ryan Fox, Dave Plata. I mean, Dave's show. I love Dave's show. I worry about his liver sometimes, but I love his show.
Yeah.
JC Chankowski, who just bought Sales Boost from Pat Clark, which is also an amazing group. I mean, anybody here you were saying that you didn't want to just focus on like that this is about Christmas lights. And I think you're right. It's a kind of a business building event because I mean, certainly not all these speakers install Christmas lights, right? I mean,
no.
Or do they?
No, it's the exact opposite. There's a few in there that do. John Majak right there, phenomenal speaker. He's an up and coming speaker. He's got a new book out, Ring the Bell, which is a phenomenal book. So a lot of people, they don't own Christmas light companies, and we try to diversify our audience, our speaker lineup. There you go. Look at that. Got it right there. Ring that bell.
Isn't that funny that I was prepared?
Yeah, yeah, good. I love it.
I'm like a pro. I'm like a pro.
I love John.
There you go, John.
Yeah, John, he's a good friend of mine, and I love him. And it's you surround yourself with people like John, and you can't fail. He's awesome. So
He's a good guy, and I'll tell
yes.
you right now. I don't know if you know Jason Evers, but really like a world renowned speaker as well. And it's funny because these guys that are in Florida seem to be so positive. And you know what? Maybe it's just the sunshine out there, right?
Yeah, it could
I mean,
be.
you know what I mean? I mean, those guys, because like John is just, that's what I think about John when I think about him is Mr. Positive.
Something in the water.
It doesn't matter what's going on. It doesn't matter if it's a bad, he's trying to look for the good in anything, that even if it's bad, he's trying to find out what's good about this,
Yeah.
But you guys, the reason we're here is this is May 1st and 2nd. So it's around the corner. I mean, this thing's literally days away, but it's not just about Christmas light installation. This is a business building seminar for guys out there. This kind of advice. And is there anybody you want to key focus on here that maybe you're excited to?
Let me. So the event's May 2nd and 3rd. That's a Thursday, Friday. We do have pre-show class.
Oh, I keep saying May 1st.
That's all right. That's right. It technically is May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. The conference itself, all the speakers are May 2nd and 3rd, which is Thursday, Friday. We have pre-show classes going on. We have 2 different classes going on May 1st. We have a multi-seasonal lighting class, which is anybody that's in the industry wants to expand outside of just the holiday season. We're going to teach them how to do permanent lighting installs and stuff like that. We also have a commercial sales boot camp class that we're teaching. So anybody that is in the industry or wants to get in the industry that wants to expand out into commercial, doing shopping centers, doing cities, and walk through theme parks and things like that. We're going to teach you how to go after those clients. So that's going on May 1st. Those pre-show classes, those are extra outside of ClipaCon. You do have to pay for those. But we're looking forward to it. So as far as the lineup there, back to that diversification, I don't want, 10, 15 people talking about company culture, so that's why I really pinpoint the speakers. And, this year was easy. It was easy to get speakers this year because a lot of them were like, hey, how can I speak? They've heard the rumbles, about ClipaCon. The last year we did it at Sahara, Las Vegas. It was beautiful. It's such an amazing event. I've never had so many people tell me we changed their lives. And Ron, for me, it's kind of like putting on a big party and just getting some people to talk and speak and network and some things like that. So it's kind of like, okay, well, yeah, let's do it again, type thing. So, excited to always have Johnny back, John Majak. He's a great speaker. Zach Marker is going to be talking. He's going to be talking about, CRMs and things like that. He's got a phenomenal Christmas light CRM, Tencel CRM, beautiful thing. But yeah, there's, very excited. Sebastian's coming in. A lot of these guys are brand new, and, we just put a form out there for them to submit to speak. And, a lot of them intrigued me. Sebastian's a comedian, so I'm excited to have him there and kind of see what he's talking about. But we've got somebody talking about AI. We've got someone talking about,
who's your AI guy?
That's Morgan Knox. Morgan Knox is going to be talking about that. So she's going to be talking about AI, just different things, but really, what you need to do as an attendee is you just kind of pick and choose what suits your company at that time. Is you need to decide like, oh, this is important for my company. This is important, and go see those particular speakers. We got speakers all day long. We have 3 rooms going. There's no way to see them all at the same time. So you really have to decide what is best for my company at that time. And then maybe next year you'll see, somebody you missed.
I love that, man. And you get a little bit of blowback because guys always go, man, I can't, they're crossing over here.
Yeah.
They're crossing. I can't see this.
Yeah.
I always tell guys, when you're going to go to any event, like delve into the event, find out if there's something there for you. And obviously this event, there's something there for, like you said, there's something there for everybody. Yeah. You just got to look into what these guys are offering. And then, like you said, plan your agenda and make it happen.
Yeah.
I think it's cool when you give people options like that. And then it's always like, hey, if you didn't get to see something, I kind of like equate events to like Disneyland, right?
Sure.
You can't go on all the rides every day, right? You gotta come back to the theme park, and this is something you gotta come back to ClipaCon 25 if you think you missed somebody, or want to see some of the new attractions. And of course, in 25, there'll be new attractions, because I'm sure the 23 show is a lot different than what the 24 show was, right? I mean, tell me some of the upgraded differences from the 23 to 24. Is the AI thing? Because I mean, obviously you didn't do AI last year, did you?
We did not. So this is something
Yeah.
new. Obviously, that's a hot topic these days, and everybody's talking about AI. What's AI and stuff like that. So that's something new we're introducing here. A lot of new, and that's the challenge of having a show year after year. You don't want to go and see the same person talk about the same thing. You've got to have diversification year after year. And if you look at the speaker lineup from 2023 to 2024, there is a handful of people that spoke last year as well. But there is a lot of new people that haven't been to ClipaCon, that haven't seen John Majak speak, haven't seen Dan Plata speak, that they want to go see them.
Well, let me guess. They want to come back because it's such a cool event.
Yeah, that's kind of the story. And it's great. It's great, and you don't realize it, put as a promoter, putting the stuff on, how many lives you are really touching. And it's really neat for people to come up and be like, wow, and I've heard people tell me this is the best trade show they've been to. And I'm like, well, you haven't been to many, obviously. They're like, no, I've go to all of them. I mean, and I know for a fact these guys go to the lot, and I'm just like, okay, well, God, we're doing something right, which is pretty cool. It's neat to hear.
Can I interject there and tell you my opinion of that?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you my opinion of that.
Sure.
I've been to, people don't believe this, thousands of trade shows.
Yeah.
You maybe believe that. And they go, there's no way a man could be. I've been doing it for 30 years. I've literally, one year I went to 2 shows for like 4 years in a row, like 2 shows every month.
Yeah.
I mean, for like 4 years in a row. And so many training events in between. And I've never probably not had a training event or something that I went to at least every 60 days. Now, these last 3 years were kind of strange. But here's what I find out. When you go to something like the World of Concrete, have you ever been there? Have you been to the restaurant show? When you literally have hundreds of thousands of people at these shows, the dynamics of that show, although there's a lot of hype, there's a lot of celebrities, there's a lot of things, those shows don't actually even, I don't think they do the justice of what something like a ClipaCon does, where you have under 500, even under 1,000 people. These shows start to get like not friendly, and you don't really get like what you went there as a business building tool. But when you go to a show that's smaller show and it's a lot more intimate. And what are you anticipating, like your attendance this time? What are you anticipating?
Well, probably just south of 200 people there.
Yeah, that's the perfect number too. Everybody there, kind of, you get a feel. If you have when you have a social, everybody's in the room. You know what I mean? Most of the people show up. When you go to these larger events, you're just like, you're lost. You're just another number. I mean, if you've ever been to the World of Concrete, it's crazy because it's you couldn't see that show in 5 days. The whole thing that they got there, but it's just too big. It's too big. And here's the cool thing: if you miss John speaking, you're going to get to shake hands with them at the social, and maybe have an iced tea or coffee and talk to them, and have a good time.
You bring up a lot of good points there, and we intentionally keep it small and intimate. There's the exhibitor hall that we have. We don't look for big spaces. I've been in so many exhibitor halls where I'm walking around, I'm like lost, in the shuffle. So our exhibitor hall, and I have people knock on my door to be exhibitors. I'm like, I turn people away because we're like, no, I don't want, 10 different lighting companies. I don't want 4 different CRM companies. I don't want, all these different I want 1 or 2. You do want, a mix of, multiple companies. But you're not going to be walking.
Well, and you're building relationships with the people that are loyal to you as well. I mean, and really, here's the funniest thing in the world is that's what business is really all about, right? I mean, is building that loyalty with the people that you do business with, and they want to do business with you because of that, and you share that, you share that mentality. And I don't think people really understand that, and that goes as far as the biggest businesses go. I mean, these people, that type of culture in a business is all the relationship game has always been there. It's always going to be there. I don't think AI is even going to take that one away from us. I agree. Speaking of AI, man, what are you doing, man? Because I can tell you a little story. I I did a podcast the other day for Legacy, just the other day, and like he didn't have the background image, but he wanted one, and I went on AI and I said, hey, repeat me a logo that said Legacy through the, give me an image.
Yeah.
2 seconds. I popped it up. You're gonna be like, Matt's like, why did you do that for me? I was like, but it took 2 seconds.
Sure.
That was something that would take what? Communicating with somebody to get some stupid little simple image like that, a couple of days.
Yeah.
Now it's done. Now it's done in 2 seconds. What are you utilizing it for? Just out of curiosity.
I mean, not to that extent. I mean, I've dabbled into like logos and things like that, and background design. There's a lot of things you can do. You can take a product and you can have, hey, type it. I want it to be on the beach in San Diego and and all that stuff. And you look at it, you're like, wow, that's pretty cool, but it's kind of like, that's a little fake, type thing. And to me, that's not, I like real. I like, I don't like stuff like that, the fake stuff. But, we use it a lot for maybe, write me a sentence about this, or write me, just to make you sound smarter a little bit, you type it in.
Well, it gives you so many different ideas of how you could rephrase something.
Oh,
it's
correct.
amazing. Correct. Yeah. And I say that's probably my number one thing, because my writing skills, everybody knows, are atrocious. Yeah. So that's a good thing for me. Everybody, like you said, everything's a little bit smarter. Sure. You don't have it out there, but I did go to White Castle the other day because I wanted to see how the AI was gonna take my order. And I gotta tell you, man, it was pleasantly surprising. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they didn't get upset that I changed it 4 times. You know what I mean? The person didn't go, have you ever been there and going, like, you give them like 6 orders, and then the woman goes, okay, I got the number 1 with the cheeseburger. What are the rest? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And you're like, what? AI was like,
you're gonna see a lot of that stuff, man. You're gonna see a lot of the restaurants out here, especially in California. It's $20 minimum wage. You have to pay. I think they institute that for fast food restaurants. If you work in a fast food, you're $20 right off the bat. So I think you're gonna start seeing that, which is unfortunate. That's what it's come to, where you're hiking up all these minimum wages, and we get.
Is it unfortunate though? Is it? I don't know.
They don't maybe force people.
I don't know. I guess there's always a pro and a con to all that, but like there's always got to be somebody that's going to run that stuff, and there's somebody that's going to have to take care of that on the back end. Yep. Maybe it created a more high tech job. Maybe it created maybe it took away 5 minimum wage people, but put a guy in a seat that could actually make a living doing a job. Because let's face it, some of these positions, I mean, I get it. They're starter positions for kids for the most part. But I'll tell you the one thing that I've seen in the fast food industry is I've seen that entry level job. Like when we were kids, they were for kids. Now I'm seeing grown adults, at the menu board and stuff like that. And it's like, it's kind of a little bit weird to me to see that change, you know what I mean? To see how that's going. Yeah. And I'm kind of like looking forward to it. I could tell you about my experience going into a McDonald's when the menu thing came out there. There was 2 people in the McDonald's, just 2 people in the back cooking. And you have to order everything, out front. There's no one to talk to, and I thought to myself, and that was like 8 years ago. And I thought, well, this isn't going to work. And now it's, par for the course.
Oh, I remember visiting one too, and I was lost. I was like, what the, I was hitting the little buttons, and I was like, I screwed this up. I was standing there longer than if I would have been.
But you're used to it now. Yeah.
People adapt to it. They're going to evolve. They're going to get better at it. Everything's difficult the first time, you're doing it, and you get better at it. So it's going to.
Well, really that's something at ClipaCon that you guys, the Knox, and she's a gal.
Yeah.
What was her name? What was her first name?
Morgan Knox.
Morgan Knox. I'm interested, man. I would love to see. I would love to see something like that, because that just sounds sounds pretty cool. Because I'm gonna just be honest. I'm into AI. I think it's the future. I don't think you can fight it, because if you don't, I think if you don't get on board with it now, you're gonna be behind the 8 ball a little bit, because I don't think it's going to. It's not going to certainly hang Christmas lights right now. It's not going to. But I will buy when Musk's $20,000 robot for cleaning the house comes out. I'm getting that, man.
I've seen those drones. I've seen drones trying to hang Christmas lights. I'm like, that's not going to.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to take over our industries. Yeah. Guys know I clean sidewalks. I don't think that's going to happen. I've seen the remote control stuff, and it's still going to require a person and it's still going to require people for one. I
Yeah.
don't think anybody has to worry about the thing.
Yeah.
Well, I wish I was coming to this thing, man. Guys
Yeah.
don't understand. San Diego is absolutely beautiful.
Sure.
I've been to that little resort that you got right there. It's kind of like on the Bay Inlet
Yep. Oh,
there.
yeah.
It's a nice resort. Funny story I've got where if you get the little casitas, because you got the choice of being in the main building,
Yep.
then they got some smaller buildings, and they got those little casitas. Those little casitas we get all the time, and it's funny because every morning those damn ducks jump out of the little. There's a little freshwater river that runs through the property. I
Yeah.
don't know if you noticed that or
Oh,
not,
yeah.
but then damn ducks come up there and they go, ducks, it's the ocean. I'm like, yeah, there's ducks. I'm like, and they come up there and they peck on the window at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. So
Yeah.
you won't be late for any of your seminars if you get in one of the casitas, because they will come up and peck on the thing. And they're like trained, because everybody's feeding them. You know what I mean?
And it's a beautiful property. I mean, yeah, it is. It's an amazing property. When we walked down there, we walked it. We fell in love with it. We're going to have a lot of Christmas decor that's themed. It's going to be beach themed, which is pretty neat. We have a lot of stuff coming in where you're going to see ornaments that are, tropical and things like that. So really excited about it. It's going to be a good event. And we have such a diverse.
And I don't know if it'll be warm enough yet, but they have a great bar. They have a great bar out by the pool.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't look like much, but when it
I'm hoping. I'm watching that weather report. We get
it's
something.
it's a lot of fun.
Southern California, we get something called May Gray. So I'm hoping that that's a little bit later in May where it's not so cold. But yes, definitely want to check the weather report.
And there's so many things to do, man. I mean, we're about 20 minutes right now, but like you got the gas lamp district,
Yeah.
you got, you guys got all the wonderful things. I can never remember the great place to eat breakfast on Mission Beach. Do you know the name of it?
I don't.
You know the place I'm talking about, though, right?
I know.
I can't remember.
I spent a lot of time in Pacific Beach, which is just right up the way.
I love that. There's a breakfast place on Mission, man.
Yeah.
I love that place. I can't remember the name of it. Every time I travel there,
Yeah.
I go there. There's so many cool places.
Oh, yeah.
Are you guys having a trip over to Gaslamp?
I don't know if we'll make it down there. That's probably about 15, 20 minutes away. I'm not sure if we'll make it down there, but we are right there by the roller coaster, Mission Beach. People can walk over to the ocean. You can be at the ocean in 5-10 minutes, no problem. So a lot of activities, a lot of stuff going on. We do have our social event, which is going to be pretty cool. That's the first night. It's on Thursday. We're going to go out on the Bahia Bell. I don't know if you're familiar with the Bahia Bell.
I am.
Yeah. So we're going to two runs out there on the bay. It's going to go out for about 45, 50 minutes per run and take people out on the bay. And we'll have cocktails, we'll have food, music, all sorts of stuff going on. We're going to have the cocktail or the social event right there on the beach. Right at the bay, and then you just walk on the dock, get on the Bahia if you want to take it out and go out. You're not actually taking it out yourself. They will have a driver for you, but you can go out on the bay for 50 minutes if you want to enjoy that.
There's a great coffee shop at the Bahia, but the Starbucks is just right across from the roller coasters.
Yep. Yeah, there's plenty of stuff. There's tons of stuff in the area, and it's important for us to make sure we have an event where people can, go off site and not have to, aren't forced to just buy hotel food the whole time because it gets expensive.
What are you about? You're about 100 yards from the roller coaster.
Oh yeah,
right there, from the edge of the
if
property.
that. It's right there.
Maybe 100.
Yeah, you can see it from the resort.
Yeah, and the roller coaster guys, there's a park there, and then there's a row of, bars and restaurants that within a few feet there that I've had many nights where there was I had lots of fun on that.
Belmont Park right there. That's roller coaster.
From the time I was this high to now being an adult, I have had a blast at that.
I remember going to a Motley Crue CD release party at that roller coaster.
That's funny, isn't that?
That was back in I don't know what year that was. Actually, it wasn't the lead singer. It was when they had the other lead singer. So, that was interesting. I had to use my brother's ID to get in. I still wasn't even 21 at that time.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny stuff. That's funny stuff. It's funny people don't realize all those hair bands came from that part of the country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really all of them.
Pretty much.
Little what'd you do, man? You cut your hair off. Did you have the long hair back then?
I did, yes. I had the
Yeah.
ponytail and everything and all that stuff, and I played sports, so I had to put it back in a ponytail when I played and things. Yeah, I grew up in the Nirvana and punk rock, Green Day and Under Law and Blink-182.
So why are you not having a surf lesson along with the Christmas light thing? That's
Yeah,
right.
really, I should. I should. I think the water's
You
a
should have
little bit too
you
cold.
should have got you should have got all these guys out there. Oh, get them all wetsuits. They'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Someone is
They'll be
putting together a
fine.
fishing trip. There is a fishing trip that's going on. I haven't really heard much about it recently, but I know somebody was initially putting something together, and those guys love their
Is Jeremy Jennings involved in that?
possibly. I don't remember who.
Yeah, he might be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably if there's anything going out of there, they'll go out of Oceanside or something.
Yeah,
Like that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they're going to go out of Oceanside. It's probably Jeremy. I'll have to talk to him about it because if he's having a fishing trip, maybe I'll sneak in a little podcast with him and get some clips of that stuff. Every time that there's an industry event, Jeremy Jennings has done something
Sure.
in the way of a fishing trip. Those guys got amazing pictures. You've seen them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They catch the tuna and stuff like that, and they actually, so these guys know they'll go down to Mexico because it's usually a day trip.
It's not that far.
You know,
Yeah.
it's obviously it's not something they do during the event. They do it either before or after.
Correct.
But yeah, we'll have to check that out because that's always a big plus too. But guys, 2nd and 3rd of May, this thing's around the corner. ClipaCon, man, get there. You guys saw the lineup there. It's a host of tons of people with big business building stuff, guys. Clip, you've been an organization for over what, 7 years now, going on 7 years.
Yep.
7 years. Any other industry organizations in your industry? As far as contractor organizations, I mean, because you're pretty much a contractor org, right?
Yeah, I mean, the pressure washing industry is huge for us. A lot of these guys, and people don't realize, the size of the Christmas. It's a $1 billion industry, and I don't know how many people I've talked to. Like, really, you can make that much money? You can do this. I mean, you can. Some of these guys are making 7 figures. There's a few of them, and a lot of it are speaking at ClipaCon, 7 figures in Christmas lights, and that's 4 months.
In closing, yeah, but I want to talk about this in closing. I've got friends that do it year round. Now people go, well, you live in Phoenix. Yeah, you know what? I do live in Phoenix, and lighting here is year round, but it doesn't. Cold weather, that to my knowledge, is always going on in December. So like people will say, well, you get beautiful weather all year round. I'm like, wait a minute. Guys are doing Christmas lights in New York, Chicago, and all these Vancouver, all these places where it's freezing, and they're doing this stuff when it's freezing weather. So being in the nice area really, I don't think constitutes whether you want to do this. Now, what you're saying is a guy doing that much money in a 4-month span, what's he do with the rest of his life?
Sure.
Well, you can lay on the beach, right?
Sure.
in the good weather. But I'm here to tell you, I don't believe it's just an add-on service anymore.
No.
I really don't. I believe guys can do this year round. And of course, those guys that are doing these numbers that you're saying are doing the prep work, the amount of time that they put in months before, because logistic wise, if you're doing that kind of money, you better have all your ducks in a row.
Sure.
I'm sure I could even imagine the warehouse to keep those lights. I would love it. Have you toured anybody that's doing something like that?
Oh, yeah.
How massive the
David Feld has a beautiful place out in Minneapolis. Ryan Fox out in Atlanta, they have an amazing warehouse. So if you're ever in those areas, there's go visit them. It's pretty cool to see. But they're making good money doing that stuff. So they've got the money to find a big warehouse like that. So yeah,
that's awesome. That's awesome stuff.
Start getting to that point. Yeah, you need a big warehouse.
All right. Tell me what you want to tell me in closing. I'm going to wrap this thing up. What do you
anybody that wants to join us? I mean, I think it's for anybody that's an entrepreneur, anybody that's in the service related industry. There's a diverse speaker lineup. It's not just Christmas lights. So get that out of your head. Come join us. It's a great event. We'd love to have you out there. It's May 2nd and 3rd, San Diego, beautiful. And just looking forward to an amazing event.
And the web address that they got to go to. I'm going to throw these links in the thing, but where do they got to go to?
You can go to clipa.com, and then there's a link that says ClipaCon. When you do that, there's going to be a drop-down box. Their schedule's on there too. So if you want to see the speaker lineup and what they're talking about, we've got all the speaker topics on there, and kind of see if it's that's interesting, that's not interesting. Love to have everybody out there. So if you come and if you decide to come and you weren't before, please come up and say hi to me. Let me know that you heard about us from Ron's show. I'd love to hear more about you guys. So I think the networking side of things is awesome, and it's small and intimate, and you can shake hands with the John Majax and the David Fell. It's not like they're gods or anything like that, but they will open their arms to sit there and talk to you.
Absolutely, those are great. They're all great guys.
Yeah.
Great guys. Hey, it was a pleasure having you today, man. Good luck with the show. We're going to get some folks out there for you. I wish I could attend myself.
Sure.
Love San Diego. Beautiful, beautiful deal. Ron Musgraves, guys, here with Matt Hayden Clipa Con, and it's going on May 2nd and 3rd, guys. Make sure you get out there. Love seeing everybody out there, guys. Ron Musgraves, Pressure Washing Institute, Contractors First.